Good morning, traders and investors. Dale Sucker with the Trader Boys here. Well, what a wild ride in the markets in the overnight. Currently, the markets are S&P up 26, almost 0.9%. The NASDAQ is the weakest of the lot here, up 0.63% at 64 points to the upside. 250 on the Dow, up a percent there, and almost 20 on the Russell, 1.36. So we had a news event last night where we were told the China deal was over, but phase one's still in place. So we got oil. Oil is on the move to the upside. So oil is making a recovery run here, up 77 cents, 41.62. The gold is trying to break through the supply level of 1772, and the 10-year bonds are falling away from our supply. In the charts here, S&P 500. This is the wild ride I was talking about last night. So this is the overnight transactions here, and the market just plummeted. Boom, straight down. Right? Came into some form of buying here, straight back up, and then has just been climbing. So we're almost out of this heavily traded or over traded area over here. Now, this is what your novice traders are going to be looking at. They're going to be looking at this area as resistance. Right? Old school technical thinking, resistance. And we're going to break through that resistance. They're going to jump on board the long train, and they're going to come up and they're going to run into these areas of supply. So these are what we call bull traps. Everyone gets all excited, bullish on the market, and they stop buying the market like crazy, and they run into this massive area of institutional selling. So these are the areas that we're going to be ready for in advance, knowing where the top of the market is going to be, and we're going to time this market on the downside. So we're going to be monitoring this the next couple of days here, most likely today, and kind of see the action here take place. So just like the principle here, big move to the downside, right? We break the support area right down into the massive stack of unfilled buy orders of institutions, and boom, up we go. Right, so we're looking for the reverse of this formation up the top here. The Russell came right up into our supply level right here. We had the reaction off that supply level right down into this trend line that just keeps proving to be support. There's buyers on this trend line. And up we come, right back into the support area here. There's no more unfilled sell orders, and up we go through. Now we're looking at this area here, right, as our first area of our supply level. Ideally, really the one up the top here is going to be the big player. It is a proven level of supply right there. So we may get up into this area here of yellow. Right, we'll look for the retracement right down into this demand zone right here that's just newly formed. Right, I want to see this push further to the north, come back down, take the entry, and we can trade that up to the upside here. And so that's kind of the play on the Russell. The NASDAQ's at new all-time highs. It is up there. So NASDAQ is poised right now. We're up, we're sideways. We can look for the breakout, and there's absolutely nothing above us to stop us. There's no sell orders. There's nothing above us. It can just keep on trucking on. So we'll take a look at the big names on that. We'll see kind of what's creating that. This is the VIX. This is a new one here for my series here on the Trader Boys. This is a market that is measuring the number of puts that was being purchased on the S&P 500. So puts are traded to the downside. They're used for insurance. So this is what they call the fear index. So right now you can see that the fear index is reducing. Now right around this 30 area is where this big move started, as well as the most recent one last week, when we had the retracement of the markets. So down here is really where the big demand area is, but just be wary that right in here around this 30 mark, and we're right near it right now, is where big buying can come into the VIX. Now the VIX pushes north, the markets come down. So VIX is a phenomenal hedge right now, meaning if you're long Apple or Amazon or Google or these big names that are high flying, and there's a lot of money potential on the upside, right, we can come in and we can trade options on the VIX. So if those stocks drop, this makes money. You hit your stop losses, you get out for your profits on your big stocks, and then your portfolio continues to make money as the market falls by the rise of the VIX. Right, so I'm going to do a lot more videos and a lot more education on the VIX. It is a phenomenal hedging instrument. So hedging is trading the opposing direction of the current market condition, right, to protect your portfolio. This is the bonds. Bonds are in inverse correlation to the financial markets. Bonds are doing exactly what they should be doing right now. Came up into supply, dropped away right back into supply level, and we're starting to drop. And the bonds are continuing to drop this morning. Break below this low, we can start to see the bonds fall a little more here. Right now, we need the bonds really to fall to rise the interest rates to really correct the economic conditions. The problem with that is the Federal Reserve. Right, here's the last one, gold. Right, gold is up into the supply area here. We've had a reaction off that. If gold, we already mentioned this yesterday, should be able to break through and head to the north. And that's really looking at on a corrective move in the stock market to really push that to make that happen. Here's the oil market. Oil is above its previous daily high right here. We retraced, we've come up, and we're just slowly climbing. We're climbing up this trend line, and we've just broken out to new highs above that high. That's showing strength in this market. Now where it's currently trading is right at the bottom of this candle. There's going to be a little bit of resistance right at the bottom of the candle, but really what we can do is get up to in this area here in the $46, $47 mark before we realize any supply. So there's some room to move for oil to come into the upside. So that's looking great. Here's that little trade on XM. XM has been hanging out down here in this buy area right here. So if you're not in XM, XM has an opportunity to give you today to get involved. XM is going to open around the 47.20 mark, which is right in here. So XM is going to gap up this morning. We've got to get back through this trend line, back above these candles highs, and then we've got the room to move. All right, so XM is poised in a great situation, a great position, as is oil. Let's look at the big NASDAQ names here. This is the ones that everyone wants to know about. NASDAQ, all-time highs. Well, it's all happening. Okay, now why? Let's take a look at the stocks. Here is Apple. Apple made a new all-time high yesterday. Right? Apple had a huge event there yesterday. Big news came out. They're going to be creating their own chips for their laptops, new operating systems. It is all happening. People are loving that news. They're loving the concept of what Apple's doing right here. And Apple's going to be opening 364 this morning, so gap up in the markets this morning, so right around where the cursor is right now. And so it's going to be a new all-time high in the open of the market today. It's 8:15 in the morning right now. A lot can happen next hour and 15 minutes before market opens, but right now it's poised to gap up, open higher, and probably run higher. We've got Amazon here. Amazon is going to open at new all-time highs. 27.31 is going to be the open. 27.22 is the previous high. 27.31 is where it's currently trading the pre-market activity. New all-time highs on Amazon if the market opens here. Netflix, okay, we had a reaction at a supply level and took all the sellers out of the market, and it is rocking to the upside. Right, new all-time highs on Netflix. Markets are just breaking out to the upside. This is Facebook. 241 was the previous high on Facebook. We're currently trading at 240.45. Right, so just below the all-time high. If Facebook can break above that high, it can get a little bit of a run here. Be very careful if you're buying these right now. These are buying at high prices right now. Right, this is the last one, Microsoft. This has been a great trade. Microsoft, we got in just over a little week ago. 185 is the entry point right here. We got right in off the low of the market after a big gap down to the lows. And up we go. New all-time high in Microsoft up at 200. So you'd be up $15 right there on that transaction. And Microsoft is looking to open at 202.40 this morning. If the markets remain here, boom, big new all-time highs in Microsoft, big profits in Microsoft there. And we timed that one absolutely beautifully. That is the update for Daily Stock with the Trader Boys. Have an amazing trader day. Be very careful. You've got to put your stop losses in, manage your profits, protect your risk, and start to be looking and taking an interest on the downside as this market climbs higher. Have a great day.